Amanda, Ebuka said, trying to remain calm but firm. I appreciate your visit, but I need you to understand that I am committed to my wedding plans with Ifunanya. Your presence here is making me uncomfortable. I think it's best if you leave now. Amanda was taken aback by his words. Ebuka, I didn't mean to upset you, she said. In a quiet village called Unwanted, there was two young people named Ebuka and Ifunanya, who were very much in love. Everyone in the village talked about them because their love was special. Ebuka worked hard in the field and helped his family, but he didn't have a lot of money. Some people wondered how Ifunanya could love him so much. Ifunanya, which means love, was pretty and smart. Everyone liked her because she was kind. People often asked why she chose Ebuka when he didn't have much money. Some people were jealous and thought he deserved someone richer. But Ifunanya loved Ebuka for his kindness and how much he cared for her. After finishing her studies in the accounting at university, Ifunanya came back to Unwanted excited. She quickly updated her resume and applied for a job at a big companies in Rivers State. She wanted to work as an accountant. Her success made her and her family very proud. Every morning, Ifunanya and Ebuka would meet by the village well. They would greet each other with smiles. Good morning, Ifum, Ebuka would say warmly, calling her his special name. I brought you some fresh bread today. I hope it helps you with your new job. Ifunanya would smile as he took the bread. Thank you, Ebuka. Your support means so much to me. I am excited about the new job. They often talked about their dreams for the future. One day, Ebuka would say, holding her hand, I will be able to give you everything you deserve. Ifunanya would look at him with a love. Ebuka, you already give me everything I need. Your love is more important than money. I believe in us. Even though they didn't have a lot of money, their love was strong. They enjoyed simple moments together. One evening, as they sat together, Ifunanya rested her head on Ebuka's shoulder. Do you see those stars? She asked softly. They remind me of our love, bright and never-ending. Ebuka put his arm around her. Yes, Ifum, he said, just like those stars, my love for you will never go away. We will always be together. Their love made many people in the village think. It shows that true love and connection were more important than having a lot of money. Some villagers didn't understand why Ifunanya loved Ebuka so much, and they whispered about it. But Ifunanya and Ebuka didn't care about what others said. They knew their love was real and worth more than any amount of money. No matter what anyone says, Ifunanya told Ebuka, I am proud to be with you. Your love is what matters most. As the sun set and the village was bathing in a golden light, Ifunanya and Ebuka would sit together, dreaming of their future. Their love was a shining example of how real love is being measured by how much you care, not by how much money you have. One sunny morning, Ifunanya received incredible news that would change her life. She had been offered a job as an accountant at one of the best oil companies in Rivers State. She couldn't believe it. Her hard work and studies had paid off. First, Ifunanya shared the fantastic news with her family. They were thrilled and proud of her achievement. They hugged her and celebrated, knowing how hard she had worked for this moment. After the excitement settled, Ifunanya couldn't wait to tell Ebuka. She ran quickly to the village. her heart pounding with excitement. She reached the village well, where Ebuka was working. "Ebuka," she called out, her face glowing with happiness. Ebuka looked up and saw her. "Ifunanya, what is wrong? You look so excited." "I have an amazing news," Ifunanya exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. "I got the job at the oil company in Rivers State. I'm going to be an accountant there." Ebuka's face lighted up with big smile. "That's wonderful, Ifum. I'm so happy for you. You have worked so hard for this, and you truly deserve it." They hugged each other tightly, both feeling a rush of happiness. "Thank you, Ebuka," Ifunanya said softly. "Your support has meant everything to me." The next day, Ifunanya prepared to start her new job. She packed her things carefully and made sure she had everything she needed. She was both nervous and excited as she thought about the new adventure ahead. Ebuka walked with her to the edge of the village. "I will miss you while you are away," he said, holding her hand. "But I'm so proud of you. You are going to do great." Ifunanya said with a smile, "I will miss you too. But I promise to keep in touch and visit whenever I can. We are building our future, and this is a big step for us." They shared one last embrace before Ifunanya set off on her journey to Rivers State. As she walked away, she turned and waved to Ebuka, who waved back, his eyes filled with pride and love. Ifunanya was excited about her new job, but she knew that no matter where life took her, Ebuka would always be in her heart. Their love was strong, and they were both ready to face whatever the future held together. Rivers State is a lively and a beautiful place, and is known for its rivers, green trees, and busy city life. The main city, Port Harcourt, is full of tall buildings, crowded streets, and colorful markets. It is also an important place for oil companies, making it a big center for business. When Ifunanya arrived in Port Harcourt, she was very excited. The city was even more amazing than she had imagined. The tall buildings and the busy streets were full of energy. She loved seeing the mix of new and old things in the city. The oil company where Ifunanya got a job was one of the best in the area. It was a big modern building with a lot of glass and a fancy entrance. Inside, the office was neat and full of the latest technology. Ifunanya was nervous but thrilled as she started her first day as an accountant. Even though she was busy with her new job and living far from home, Ifunanya and Ebuka always stayed in touch. They made sure to talk every day, no matter how tired they were or how far apart they were. They called each other and shared stories about their day. Ebuka would often ask, "How was your day, Efum? I miss you, but I'm so proud of you." Ifunanya would reply, "My day was busy, but I'm doing well. I miss you too, Ebuka. Your support helps me a lot, even from afar." In the evenings, Ifunanya would explore Port Harcourt. She visited markets, tried new foods, and enjoyed the beautiful parks and the rivers. But no matter how much fun she had, she always looked forward to talking with Ebuka. Their calls made her feel closer to home. Even though they were far apart, Ifunanya and Ebuka stayed close through their words and love. Their daily talks kept them connected and made the distance feel smaller. They knew that as long as they connected, their love would stay strong. Ifunanya was thankful for Ebuka's love and support. Their constant communication made her new adventure in Rivers State even more special. It has been 2 years since Ifunanya moved to Port Harcourt for her job. During this time, she had only returned to her village once to visit her family and Ebuka. Life in the city had been busy, but she had worked hard and achieved a lot. One day, Ifunanya received exciting news. She was promoted at work. She was thrilled and couldn't wait to share the happiness with Ebuka. She picked up her phone and called him. "Hello, Ebuka," she said, her voice filled with excitement. "I have some wonderful news. I just got promoted at work." Ebuka's voice full of joy. "That's amazing, Efum. I'm so proud of you. Tell me more about it." Ifunanya smiled. "Thank you, Ebuka. I'm really happy about this promotion. But I also have another big announcement. I want you to come live with me in Port Harcourt." Ebuka was surprised. "Really? That sounds incredible. But I'm not sure if it's a good idea." Ifunanya noticed Ebuka's hesitation. "What is wrong, Ebuka? It's a great chance for us to start a new life together." Ebuka hesitated. "I am worried about how people will see me. It might seem odd for me to move and live with you. I'm afraid they will laugh and think less of me. I also feel uneasy about leaving my life behind here." Ifunanya understood his concerns. "I know it's a big step, but let me explain something. My company has given me a nice apartment. It's already furnished and ready for us to move in. This means you won't have to worry about finding a place or paying extra rent. Everything is set up here for us." Ebuka was intrigued but still uncertain. "An apartment from your company? That sounds good, but I still feel uncomfortable about moving. I don't want to feel like I'm depending on you too much." Ifunanya spoke gently. "I understand, Ebuka, but think of this as a fresh start for both of us. The apartment is an extra benefit that will make things easier. You will have a place to live without stress of finding one, and it will give you a solid foundation. We can focus on building our future together. I really want us to be together, and I'm here to support you in every way." Ebuka took a deep breath, considering her words. It's a lot to think about, but the apartment makes it seem more manageable. I guess this opportunity could be a good start for us. Ifunanya smiled warmly. "Yes, exactly. This is a chance for us to build a new life without the usual worries. I'm excited to help you start the electronics business and to have you here with me." Ebuka felt a sense of relief. "Alright, Ifum, I will start making plans. I need to sort a few things out, but willing to give this a try." Ifunanya was thrilled. "Thank you, Ebuka. I'm so happy you are considering this. We will work out all the details and I'm sure it will be wonderful." They continued to discuss their plans and how Ebuka could prepare for the move. Ifunanya felt hopeful and excited, knowing that their love and commitment would help them face any challenges. She looked forward to welcoming Ebuka to Port Harcourt and starting a new chapter of their life together. A few months after Ebuka moved to Port Harcourt, their love grew stronger than ever. Living together brought them closer, and they rekindled the bond they had in the village. Ebuka spent 3 months learning about electronics, and with Ifunanya's help, he opened his own shop. Business was going well, and Ifunanya made sure Ebuka had everything he needed to succeed. She supported him fully, ensuring he was never lacking anything. Their relationship blossomed beautifully. They spent quality time together, celebrating small victories and enjoying each other's company. Ebuka was happy, and Ifunanya, whom he lovingly called Ifum, was proud of him. Ifunanya, who also called Ebuka Obim, which means my heart, they felt their future was bright and they were excited for what was ahead. But one fateful day changed everything. That day, Ifunanya had to stay late at work for a company outing. She called Ebuka to come and pick her up since it was getting dark. Ebuka, always eager to help, agreed and drove to her office, waiting patiently in the parking lot. As Ebuka stood by his car, stretching after the drive, a woman walked out from the office building. She was elegant, tall, and dressed in a fashionable outfit that drew attention. It was Amanda, Ifunanya's manager, known for her beauty and poise. She was one of the most admired women at the company. When Miss Amanda saw Ebuka, she was stunned. His strong muscular build and good look caught her off guard. She had never seen him before and couldn't take her eyes off him. As she made her way to her car, she kept glancing at him, trying to figure out who he was. Ebuka, unaware of her gaze, stood there waiting for Ifunanya. But Miss Amanda wasn't about to let the moment pass. "Hi," she said with a charming smile. "I don't think we have met before. Are you waiting for someone?" Ebuka turned and smiled politely. "Yes, I'm waiting for my fiancé, Ifunanya," he replied. Miss Amanda raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. "Ifunanya? Oh, so you are her fiancé?" she asked, her curiosity growing. "Yes, I am," Ebuka replied, proud of his relationship with Efom. Miss Amanda's eye lingered on him for a moment. "Well, she is a lucky woman. It's not every day we'll see someone as impressive as you around here." Ebuka felt a bit uncomfortable with how Miss Amanda was looking at him, but he smiled politely. "Thank you, I'm lucky to have her too." Before Miss Amanda could say more, Ifunanya came out of the office, smiling brightly when she saw Ebuka. "Obim, thank you for waiting," she called out, waving at him. Miss Amanda gave Ifunanya a quick, knowing glance before smiling. "You have got a good man, Ifunanya. See you tomorrow." As Miss Amanda walked away, Ifunanya noticed something in the way her manager looked at Ebuka. A small knot formed in her stomach, but she brushed it off, thinking it was just her imagination. Little did she know, Miss Amanda's interest in Ebuka would soon cause problems they hadn't foreseen. As they drove home, Ebuka and Ifunanya laughed and talked, completely unaware that Miss Amanda's growing fascination with Ebuka would soon test the strength of their love. Miss Amanda couldn't stop thinking about Ebuka ever since that brief meeting in the parking lot. His image was stuck in her mind. She found herself distracted at work, unable to focus. "It can't be," she whispered to herself, shaking her head. "He's Ifunanya's fiancé. I shouldn't be thinking about him." But no matter how hard she tried, the thought of Ebuka kept creeping back. She couldn't forget his strong features, his confident smiles, and the way he carried himself. There was something about him that captivated her, and she hated that she couldn't shake it off. Amanda had never felt this kind of attraction before, especially for someone who was already taken. Day by day, she found herself thinking more about him. Imagine what it would be like to see him again. It's just a harmless crush, she told herself, but deep down, she knew it was more than that. She was starting to lust after him, and it made her uneasy. Still, she couldn't stop. Meanwhile, Ifunanya also had lingering thoughts about that evening with Miss Amanda. She trusted Ebuka completely, but something about the way Amanda looked at him made her curious. She didn't want to seem jealous, but she couldn't help wondering what they had been talking about. One evening, while relaxing for dinner, Ifunanya decided to ask. She gently placed her hand on Ebuka's shoulder and smiled softly. "Obim," she began, calling him the loving name she always used. "What were you and Miss Amanda talking about that day?" You two seemed deep in the conversation. Ebuka was a bit surprised by the question, but he smiled. "Ifum," he replied, using the special name for her. It wasn't much. She introduced herself and asked if I was waiting for someone. That's all. Ifunanya nodded, though a hint of concern remained in her eyes. "I just noticed the way she looked at you. It felt different," she said softly. Ebuka chuckled and pulled her close. "You have nothing to worry about, Ifum. You are the only woman in my heart." "I don't even notice anyone else," he said, kissing her forehead. Ifunanya smiled, feeling reassured by his words. "I know, Obim, I trust you." But even though she trusted Ebuka, the way Miss Amanda had looked at him still lingered in her mind. Little did she know, Miss Amanda's feelings for Ebuka were growing stronger. One fateful day, Miss Amanda was returning from work and decided to stop by an electronics shop to buy a home theater system. She had heard about a new shop nearby and thought it would be convenient to pick something up. When she entered the shop, she was shocked to see Ebuka standing there, talking to one of his sales boys. She couldn't believe her eyes. What kind of coincidence is this? She thought, her heart racing. For a moment, she just stood there, staring at him. The man she had been thinking about for weeks was now right in front of her, and she was even more awed to learn he owned the shop. Her admiration for him quickly turned into something deeper. Ebuka noticed her and smiled politely. "Miss Amanda, what a surprise. Welcome to my shop." Amanda smiled back, trying to remain calm. "Thank you, Ebuka. I didn't expect to see you here. I'm just looking for a home theater." Ebuka nodded and began showing her different options, completely unaware of the emotions swelling inside her. As they talked, Amanda insisted that he gave her his business card. At first, Ebuka was a bit hesitant. He felt it wasn't necessary, but as a customer, he didn't want to refuse her. "All right," he said, handing her the card. "Here is my card. Thank you for stopping by." Amanda took the card with a smile, her fingers brushing his hand ever so slightly. "Thank you, Ebuka," she said, holding onto the card a little too long. "I will keep in touch." After making her purchase, Amanda watched as Ebuka asked his boys to load the home theater into her car. As she drove off, she couldn't stop smiling. To her, this was just a simple encounter. It felt like fate was bringing them together. Meanwhile, Ebuka thought nothing about it, unaware of the storm that was slowly brewing in Amanda's heart. Ifunanya and Ebuka's love was blooming beautifully. Their connection had deepened since Ebuka moved to Port Harcourt, and they had recently gone back to the village for their introduction. The villagers were surprised by how much Ebuka had changed, noticing how he looked more confident and successful. Some believed Ifunanya's influence had transformed him into the man he had become. Ifunanya must have worked some magic, one villager whispered. Look at how well he's doing now. It must be her handwork. Others admired their relationship, though they didn't fully understand the bond between the two. But despite all the talk, Ebuka and Ifunanya didn't let it affect them. Their love was solid, and that was all that mattered. Ifunanya's parents, however, had their reservations. Her mother worried whether Ebuka could truly provide for their daughter. Are you sure about Ebuka? She asked one evening. He's doing well now, but is he the right man for you? Ifunanya's heart was steady. Yes, Mama, I'm sure. I know Ebuka and I believe in him. He's hardworking and has a good heart. Together, we will build a strong future. Her father, seeing the love in her daughter's eyes, gave his quiet approval. As long as she's happy, we are happy. On the other hand, Ebuka's parents couldn't have been prouder. His mother beamed with pride. Ebuka, Ifunanya is the best thing that has ever happened to you. Don't ever disappoint her. His father added, take care of her, son. She's brought out the best in you. With both family in agreement, their love seemed unstoppable. Everything was falling into place, and Ebuka and Ifunanya's future looked bright. However, Amanda was still battling her feelings for Ebuka. She couldn't brush him off her mind, and the attraction she felt towards him only grew. One evening, Amanda was having issues setting up the home theater she bought from Ebuka's shop. It was more complicated than she expected, and after struggling for some time, she decided to call Ebuka for help. Hello, Ebuka, Amanda said over the phone. I'm having issues with the home theater. It's a bit confusing, and I was hoping you could come over and help me set it up. Ebuka, busy at the time, replied, Miss Amanda, I will send one of my boys over to assist you. They can handle it. But Amanda insisted, no, Ebuka, I would prefer if you come personally. I trust you more with these things. It's just a quick setup and I really need your help. Ebuka hesitated, feeling uneasy about going to her place alone. He knew how Ifunanya would feel about it, and he didn't want to do anything that might make her uncomfortable. Still, Amanda pressed on, sounding desperate for help. After a few moments of hesitation, Ebuka finally gave in. All right, Miss Amanda, he said, trying to stay professional. I will come over shortly and help you out. As Ebuka hung up the phone, he felt a slight tension in his chest. He knew helping Amanda was the right thing to do as a business owner, but something about the situation didn't set well with him. Nevertheless, he grabbed his tools and prepared to go to her place, hoping it would be a quick task and nothing more. Ebuka had promised to help Amanda with her home theater, despite his reservations. When he arrived at her house, he was greeted by a sight that took him completely by surprise. Amanda opened the door, wearing a see-through nightwear that left little to the imagination. Ebuka was stunned, momentarily taken aback by her appearance. He quickly pushed the unexpected sight out of his mind and focused on why he was there. Good evening, Miss Amanda, he said, trying to stay composed. I'm here to help you with the home theater. Amanda, seemingly unaware of the impact her outfit was having, led him to the living room where the home theater was set up. Ebuka worked diligently, setting up the system and ensuring everything was working in order. He tried not to let the distracting environment affect his professionalism. As he finished, Amanda seemed pleased with his work. "Thank you so much, Ebuka," she said, her tone warm. "Would you like a drink? I have some refreshments." Ebuka, eager to get back home to Ifunanya, declined the offer. "No, thank you, Miss Amanda. I'm actually in a bit of a hurry to get back home." Amanda persisted, her voice soft and inviting. "Come on, Ebuka. Just stay a few minutes. I insist. It is the least I can do for you." Feeling slightly uncomfortable, Ebuka relented. "Alright then, just a glass of water, please." Amanda smiled and quickly went to the kitchen to get the drink. When she returned, she handed the glass to Ebuka with a smile. As their fingers brushed briefly, Amanda's touch lingered a bit longer than necessary. Ebuka noticed the lingering contact, but chose not to comment. He took a glass and thanked her. "Thanks, Amanda. I really should get going now." During the time he was at Amanda's place, Ifunanya had been calling him repeatedly, but Ebuka chose not to answer. He felt it would be better not to pick up the phone while he was there, to avoid making things awkward for Amanda. When Ebuka finally arrived home, he saw Ifunanya anxiously waiting for him by the door. Her face brightened with relief as she rushed to greet him. "Obim, what kept you?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. "I kept calling, but you weren't picking up." Ebuka immediately pulled her into his arm. "I'm sorry, Ifunanya," he said. "I didn't realize my phone was ringing." Ifunanya looked at him with a mixture of concern and love. "I understand. I just missed you." Ebuka smiled and kissed her gently. He then lifted her in his arm, carrying her to their bedroom. Ifunanya wrapped her arms around his neck, her face full of contentment. They both felt the warmth of their love as Ebuka carefully placed her on the bed. "I'm glad to be home with you," he whispered, leaning in for another tender kiss. Their bond was stronger than ever. Ebuka was determined to keep it that way, no matter what challenges they faced. Ebuka never mentioned to Ifunanya that he had gone to Amanda's place. Ebuka and Ifunanya were deeply engaged in their preparation for their traditional and white wedding. Their days were filled with excitement and love as they worked on every details of their special day. They were both eager and happy, looking forward to their future together. Meanwhile, Amanda remained fixated on Ebuka, despite knowing about his upcoming marriage to Ifunanya. She could not let go of her obsession. "I must have him," Amanda thought to herself, no matter what. Her determination grew stronger with each passing day. One day, Ifunanya had to travel to Lagos for a business trip. Seizing this chance, Amanda saw an opportunity to make her move. She decided to visit Ebuka at his office, hoping to use the absence of Ifunanya to her advantage. That evening, Amanda arrived at Ebuka's office, dressed in a stylish and alluring outfit. She approached with confidence, knowing she needed to make a memorable impression. When she walked in, Ebuka was surprised to see her. "Good evening, Ebuka," Amanda said with a warm, inviting smile. "I hope I'm not disturbing you." Ebuka looked up, a bit startled. Amanda, what are you doing here? I wasn't expecting you. Amanda took a seat across from him, her gaze steady. I was in town for a business trip, and I thought I would drop by. I hope it's not too late. Ebuka glanced at his watch and then to Amanda. It's fine. I'm just finishing up some work. What can I do for you? Amanda leaned forward slightly, her voice soft and suggestive. I just wanted to see you and catch up. It's been a while. As they chatted, Amanda made sure to subtly flirt with Ebuka. She complimented him and touched his arm lightly, creating an atmosphere of closeness. Her goal was clear. She wanted to make Ebuka question his commitment to Ifunanya and make him consider her instead. However, Ebuka began to feel uncomfortable with Amanda's advances. He had strong feelings for Ifunanya and was determined to stay focused on their future together. Sensing that Amanda's behavior was inappropriate and troubling, he decided to address it directly. Amanda, Ebuka said, trying to remain calm but firm, I appreciate your visit, but I need you to understand that I am committed to my wedding plans with Ifunanya. Your presence here is making me uncomfortable. I think it's best if you leave now. Amanda was taken aback by his words. Ebuka, I didn't mean to upset you, she said, her voice tinged with disappointment. I'm sorry if I have hurt your feelings, but I need to be clear about where I stand. Ebuka replied, his tone resolute. Please, leave now. Amanda stood up, feeling a mix of frustration and determination. She realized she needed to rethink her approach. As she left the office, she felt both disheartened and resolute. She knew she would have to come up with a new plan if she was to change Ebuka's mind. Ebuka, relieved by the end of the visit, returned to his work with a renewed focus on his future with Ifunanya. He was determined to stay true to his commitment and not let Amanda's advances interfere with their plans. Amanda was determined to stop Ebuka and Ifunanya's wedding. Even after hearing about their plans to marry, Amanda couldn't shake off her feelings for Ebuka. I must have him, no matter what, she told herself, her obsession growing deeper. One day, Amanda decided to set her plan in motion. She called Ebuka, her voice weak and shaky. Ebuka, I'm feeling very sick, she said, trying to sound as helpless as possible. I need to see a doctor, but I don't have anyone to take me. Please, can you help me? Ebuka was puzzled by the call. Amanda, why are you calling me? You should call a friend or colleague, he replied, trying to understand why she would reach out to him. I don't have anyone close enough to ask for help, and I don't want to bother my colleagues, Amanda continued, her voice filled with forced desperation. Please, Ebuka, I'm begging you. I'm really sick, and I don't know what else to do. Ebuka hesitated, unsure if he should go. He felt a sense of responsibility, but also didn't want to get too involved with Amanda. However, her pleading eventually wore him down. All right, Amanda, I will come over, but just to help you get to the doctor, he said. As he drove to Amanda's apartment, he thought about Ifunanya, wondering if it was a good idea to be helping Amanda at all. But his kind nature and desire to assist someone in need pushed him to continue. When he reached at Amanda's apartment, he was immediately greeted with a warm hug. Amanda was dressed in a see-through seductive nightwear that left little to the imagination. Ebuka was shocked and confused. Amanda, what "What is this?" he asked, stepping back. "Are you feeling better now?" Amanda smiled shyly, her eyes locked on him. "Yes, Ebuka, I'm perfectly fine," she said in a sultry voice. She moved closer to him, her hand lightly brushing his arm. "I just wanted to see you." Ebuka's face turned serious. "This isn't right, Amanda. You told me you were sick. Why did you lie?" he asked, feeling uncomfortable with the situation. Amanda ignored his questions and moved closer, her hand now resting on his chest. "Ebuka, I can't stop thinking about you," she whispered, her voice dripping with desire. "I need you, just once." Ebuka's heart raced as he stepped back, trying to distance himself from her. "Amanda, stop this. I'm engaged to Ifunanya, and we are planning our wedding," he said, trying to compose. But Amanda was relentless. She stepped even closer, her perfume and touch clouding his mind. "I know you are getting married, but that doesn't change how I feel," she said, her fingers tracing his arm. "Just one night, Ebuka. That's all I ask." Ebuka shook his head, struggling to remain strong. "Amanda, no. I love Ifunanya, and I will never hurt her," he said firmly. But Amanda wasn't backing down. Without warning, Amanda hugged him from behind, pressing herself against him and kissing his earlobe. Ebuka froze, overwhelmed by the situation. Her beauty, her curves, and her scent made it hard for him to push her away. His mind was racing, and for a moment, he felt himself weaken. "Amanda, please stop," he managed to say, his voice shaky. "I can't do this." Amanda's voice was soft and persuasive as she whispered, "Just once, Ebuka. I will never ask for anything again. I will do anything for you." But despite the overwhelming temptation, Ebuka knew what was at stake. He gently pried her arms off him and stepped forward to the door. "This can't happen, Amanda. I'm leaving," he said, his heart heavy with guilt and confusion. As he left her apartment, his mind was filled with mixture of emotions, relief, regret, and fear of what could have happened. He hasn't mentioned to Ifunanya where he had gone, and now he felt the weight of keeping that secret. Amanda stood in her doorway, watching him leave, knowing her plan hadn't worked this time, but she wasn't done, not yet. The day Ifunanya was to return from her business trip to Lagos finally arrived. Ebuka was anxious as he drove to the airport, excited to see her after few days apart. When she stepped out from the arrival hall, their eyes met, and both their faces light up with joy. Ifunanya ran into his arms, and Ebuka embraced her warmly, lifting her slightly off the ground. "Ifum," Ebuka exclaimed, his voice filled with love. He kissed her gently on the forehead. "I missed you so much." "I miss you too, Obim," Ifunanya replied with a smile, holding him close. She was so happy to be back in his arms. They shared a long, affectionate hug before heading home together, chatting excitingly about all the preparation for their big day. As the day flew by, the excitement in the air grew. The long-awaited day of their wedding was finally here. It was the day Ifunanya and Ebuka had been dreaming of for so long. The day they would pledge their life to each other. The wedding was grand, and everyone from both families and the village gathered to celebrate. The ceremony was held in a beautifully decorated hall, filled with flowers and lights. Ifunanya looked stunning in her white gown, and Ebuka in his suit stood tall and proud, beaming with happiness. As Ifunanya walked down the aisle, Ebuka couldn't take his eyes off her. She was glowing, her beauty and grace unmatched. They exchanged loving glances as they met at the altar. Ifum, Ebuka whispered as he held her hand. Obim, she whispered back, smiling through her tears of joy. The priest began the ceremony, and soon it was time for them to exchange vows. Ifunanya spoke first, her voice steady and filled with emotion. Ebuka, from the moment I met you, I knew you were the one for me. Through every challenge, you have been my strength, my joy, and my peace. Today, I promise to love and cherish you for the rest of my life. Ebuka smiled, his heart swelling with love as he replied, Ifunanya, you are my heart and my world. You have always seen the best in me, even when others didn't. I promise to love you, protect you, and honor you every day of my life. You are my everything. As they exchanged rings, the crowd cheered, and the joy in the room was palpable. Everyone was happy for the couple, including their parents, who couldn't stop smiling. Among the guests were Amanda. Ifunanya had invited her without any suspicion. Completely unaware of Amanda's lingering feelings for Ebuka, Amanda sat quietly in the crowd, forcing a smile, but deep down, he felt a mix of jealousy and defeat. She knew she had lost. Watching the love between Ifunanya and Ebuka, she couldn't deny their bond was unbreakable. As the couple sealed their vows with a kiss, the hall erupted in joy and cheers. Ebuka and Ifunanya were now officially husband and wife, their love standing strong through all the trials they had faced. The reception was equally grand, filled with laughter, dancing, and joy. The newlyweds moved around, greeting their guests and receiving well wishes for their future. They were happy, and their love radiated in every smile and glance they shared. For Ebuka and Ifunanya, it was the beginning of a beautiful new chapter, one they had long waited for, and now it was finally here. Nothing could come between their love anymore. Months had passed since beautiful wedding of Ebuka and Ifunanya. They were still as happy as ever, and their honeymoon had been like a wonderful dream. They spent their time together laughing, loving, and planning their new life. When they came back home, they felt ready to take on the world as husband and wife. Ebuka's electronics business was doing very well, and Ifunanya returned to her job as an accountant. Even though they were both busy, they always made time for each other. Their love stayed strong, and they enjoyed calling each other by sweet nicknames. Ifum, Ebuka would say with a big smile, hugging her tightly when he came home from a long day. Obim, Ifunanya would reply, leaning into his arms with a happy heart. One afternoon, while Ifunanya was at work, she got a surprise visit from Amanda, her manager. Amanda stepped into her office, holding a cup of coffee and smiling. Ifunanya, do you mind if I sit down? Amanda asked, as she sat before Ifunanya could answer. Of course, Amanda, Ifunanya said, surprised. Amanda rarely visited without a reason. Amanda smiled softly. You know, Ifunanya, you are very lucky. Ifunanya looked confused. Lucky? Yes, Amanda said, taking a sip of her coffee. To have a husband like Ebuka, He is very special. Ifunanya smiled, feeling proud. Yes, he is. I am blessed. Amanda nodded, but said something strange next. Not every woman gets to hold on to a man like that. Be careful, Ifunanya. Ifunanya felt a little uncomfortable, but kept her smile. Thank you, Amanda, she said politely. Later that evening, when Ifunanya got home, she told Ebuka about the strange conversation. Obim, Amanda came to my office today, she said, snuggling next to him on the couch. What did she want? Ebuka asked curious. She said something odd. Ifunanya explained. She told me I'm lucky to have you, but the way she said it felt strange. Ebuka laughed and kissed her forehead. Well, you are lucky, he teased, grinning at her. Ifunanya playfully hit his arm. I'm serious, Obim. It felt weird, like she was trying to say more. Ebuka looked a little more serious now. Weird how? She said not everyone can hold on to a man like you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Ebuka pulled her close and kissed her forehead. Don't worry, Ifum. I love you, and nothing will change that. I love you too, Ifunanya said, smiling, feeling comforted. As time passed, their life continued to be full of happiness and love. Amanda's strange ways didn't bother Ifunanya anymore because she trusted her husband, and Ebuka never gave her any reason to doubt him. Their love was strong, and they made each other a priority every single day. In the end, no matter what others thought or said, Ebuka and Ifunanya's love grew even stronger. They built a beautiful life together, filled with joy, trust, and laughter. Their story was proof that love, when it is true, can last forever, and they knew they would always be happy as long as they had each other. The lesson from this story is that trust and love are the foundation of a strong relationship. Ifunanya and Ebuka stayed happy because they believed in each other and didn't let others' opinion or doubt shake their bond. When you trust the people you love and show them kindness and care every day, your relationship can overcome any challenges. True love grows stronger with trust, honesty, and time. Thank you for watching this amazing story. Please kindly like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you on the next video.